Hello, I'm Brendan Thede with the Lansing Tech Studio, and I'm going to show you how to set up WSL on a Windows machine. And so what I have right here is a Windows setup that is nice and clean, nice and fresh. And so to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring open PowerShell. And a few different ways you can do that, but I like to press the Windows key and then just start typing. And here we have PowerShell, and I'm going to want to run it as admin. So I can either click Run as Administrator over here, or I can just right click and then choose Run as Administrator from that option. It's going to ask me basically, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes, and then it's going to bring me here. You may see a little bit different. It's possible that you have a newer version of PowerShell, but you should ultimately end up something like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to type WSL install. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to install some features. It's going to set up Windows so that it will work correctly. So it's going to take a little while to download. Depending on your connection speed, obviously this is going to take varying amounts of time. So if you need to pause this to let your system catch up, feel free to do that. But now it's going to try to install, and normal process is that it's going to set up the subsystem, and then it's going to have to force us to restart Windows. And so it's chugging along, it's doing its thing. And so now it is all set up, but it's saying that I need to reboot in order for these changes to be picked up. This system that we're showing right now is a virtual machine, so I can do that without losing our video here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Spoiler alert, I do have things set up right now where I don't expect it to actually work. This is one of the requirements for using the Windows subsystem for Linux, is that you have virtualization enabled in your BIOS. And I know that's quite a mouthful. And unfortunately, that is something that is going to be different from one laptop to another, from one desktop to another, even if it's a Dell and another Dell, or a Lenovo ThinkPad and another ThinkPad, the BIOS interface can change over time. And so it's possible that you need to just search online to figure out exactly how to do the configuration for your system. Normally it's, as it's booting up, you're pressing F2 or something like that to get into the BIOS. But anyway, now that we are back up, I'm going to go back to PowerShell again, and I'm going to run it as administrator again. And I am just going to run the exact same command. And because it was the last thing I used, I can just hit the up arrow, and it shows it as the last thing in my history. So I'm going to rerun WSL install. And so now, instead of downloading and installing WSL, it's looking for Ubuntu. So that's a specific distribution. And what it's saying now is, you need to enable virtual machine platform, and in your BIOS, you need virtualization enabled. Now, I will show the Windows feature. So it's just, if we just type into this, here in the search, you'll see turn Windows features on. And this is going to populate. And we want to look for virtual machine platform. And there it is. And you'll see it is already checked. So that first step that we did, it actually configured this. So Windows is a little confused. It says, oh yeah, you need to have that on, which you do, but it is already on. So what we need to do is set up that virtualization. If you already had it set up, you would have been taken through to where you're pretty much done now. So if you are in that situation, you can fast forward a little bit. But what I'm going to do is shut down this virtual machine, because I don't have BIOS in the strictest sense the same way as you would with a physical machine. But what I'm going to do is wait for it to shut down. And I'm going to just power off. And then I am going to go into the settings here. And here, this is my virtualization. So I need to virtualize Intel VT. So VT or AMD V, that's the virtualization. So I'm going to say OK. Now I am going to power this machine back up. Or if this were, a traditional machine, I would have, changed the BIOS and then saved and restarted, and it would have continued to the login that way. But in just a moment here, we should have Windows logged back in. Okay, I'm going to once again run PowerShell as admin. And as this pops up, we will run that exact same command that we have been running. So once again, I'm just hitting up on my cursor there. And it's going to download Ubuntu again. And now it is going to actually install. So now that I have the VTX features, it's going to be able to actually do it. This doesn't take too terribly long. But what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and launch Ubuntu. And this is important. This is something that the student will need to be able to have access to at our workshop. They might need to elevate. So you need to know the account name. So I am actually going to change this. So I like the name Texter for our Tech Studio user. And I need to put in a password. Again, the student is going to need to know this password. And you need to retype it because it wants to make sure that it matches. And here I am. And if we have our shell instance closed, we can get back to that a couple different ways. So we can go back to the Windows search and we can type in bash. That is now a command. And so if we fire that up, it's going to open the Windows terminal and it's going to load bash inside of that. We also could just load the terminal directly. And by default, right now, Windows PowerShell is set up as my default shell, but I can look at this and I can create a new tab and I can go to Ubuntu. And in fact, because I love Ubuntu so much, I'm going to change the settings and I'm going to set that as my default shell or my default profile. That's not required, but it makes things easier if that's what you're going to be doing a lot with. So I'm going to save that, close that. And now if I come back into the terminal again, it's going to automatically load my my bash shell here. Hopefully that was useful for everyone, and you can always reach out to us at the Lansing Tech Studio to get more help if you need some extra assistance getting yourself set up.